Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with a deck that's so dirty it feels like cheating in Clash Royale. The ranked 19 player in the world is stomping everyone at top ladder with this Shrek deck. Even if you're total trash at the game, you can beat people way better than you. Step 1, get an elixir advantage with Elixir Collector. Step 2, cycle Royale recruits in the back and get to the evolution. And all you have to do for step 3 is drop your Goblin Giant, Rage, and the support cards to take the tower. Once you have evolved Royale recruits on the field and your opponent spends elixir on one side, the other tower will have an absolute opportunity for you to spam like a savage. I wish I was joking that the deck wasn't this disgustingly strong, but the Clash Royale balance team did something massively wrong. If you're able to follow those 3 simple steps, you'll be stepping up ranks way faster than you should be. When opponents are down elixir trying to defend against a Goblin Giant, Mini P.E.K.K.A. Rage, they are going to struggle to no end. In that situation, it's actually impossible to defend. The arrows, Rage, and Goblin Giant remove distractions, and the Mini P.E.K.K.A. hits hard. It's time to unleash this no-skill strategy, wreck with Shrek, and assert dominance. Lots of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with credit code SirTag. Yo, we got a game against Giovanni. So whenever I see Giovanni, I'm immediately thinking he's going to be a Pokemon master, but he's got the soccer or football symbols in his name, depending if you're from Europe or if you're from the United States. You guys can fight it out in the comment section. Soccer or football? I feel like I just created a war. It's okay. We're going to battle with our recruits in the back too. And the guy is going to go in for a Mega Knight as well. So I don't dislike playing against Mega Knight with this deck, because if you have Goblin Giant, you rush through and you're like, Mega Knight, you do splash damage. You can't kill Shrek. Shrek is indestructible. So I'm going to go in for our Goblin Giant here, make sure that the Mega Knight is going to go really far away. And we're going to make him pay, because obviously the Skeleton Dragons did splash damage and finished off the bats, which is nice. I'm not going to spend too much elixir here. Just going to let the Goblin Giant die to the Inferno Dragon. And then I'm going to go in for our Elixir Collector in the middle, because most of the time these Mega Knight decks will either have minor Wall Breakers or they're going to have Royal Hogs. But most of the time they're just going to end up having minor Wall Breakers or minor Skeleton Barrel. So we'll try to go for our Goblins to go and protect our Elixir Collector from any menacing miners. He's going to go in for the menacing miner. We catch it, and then we go for a Rage maybe. Rage is less elixir than arrows, so that's why I'm going to do that. Also, we can rage up the Elixir Collector, which might give us more elixir. My big brain? Is this a smart strategy? I've never done that before. Raging up Elixir Collectors when it makes sense to. Don't necessarily do that on your own time where you're like, hey, I'm going to rage up the Elixir Collector to get 1 extra elixir. You're spending 2 elixir to get 1 there. I don't even know if you get 1. I think you get 1 extra. So I can go in for a Goblin Giant, and then I can apply pressure wherever he doesn't go for the Mega Knight. And that's what we're going to have happen here. So I think we just win the game with this Goblin Giant. I just don't see any universe where he defends this. He's just dead, right? He just looks at the game and he's like, oh, I lose. It's so toxic playing against this Goblin Giant, because this is what happens. The recruits force out elixir, guaranteed force out elixir on one side. And then because you're up elixir, then your opponent is not going to be able to defend the Goblin Giant, because the Goblin Giant is too cost effective on offense. It just costs way too much for the opponent to deal with. And it's just funny to watch it, because it's like a strategy that should be illegal in the game. There's 3 steps. You get more elixir than the opponent with a collector. You bait out their elixir with the recruits. And then you use overpowered card that they can't defend, Goblin Giant. That's all you have to do. It's surprisingly stupid. And guess what? I think we're going to just defend this with a Skeleton Dragons on the Archers, going for Goblins after the Mega Knight jumps, and maybe even 3 crown simultaneously with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. I don't know. This is looking like we could 3 crown him if we were just given a little bit longer. Look at the damage. If I really committed to that 3 crown, I would have gotten it. But I decided to play a little bit more safe, so I didn't throw a tower and prolong the game unnecessarily, because I'm not about that life. We want to quickly climb up and dominate our opponents decisively without giving them any chance to come back in the matches. Sometimes it's fun to 3 crown, but when you want to play safe and secure those easy wins, just bounce on the next one and continue to climb up the leaderboard. And we're racing up the ranks to 8,700 in the world. Yo, Picasso Clash Royale. What's up, man? I love that banner. So recruits in the back, always the best play. If you don't have your Elixir Collector as your next card, you just go cycle your recruits and you see what your opponent's going to do. So Royal Ghost is primarily played in 3 Musketeer decks, sometimes also in Bridge Spam decks. Okay, yeah, 3 Musketeers. I just saw 1 card. I'm like, that's what it is? That's so cool to be able to get that right, because there's also a chance that it could have been Royal Giant. But, you know, we didn't get to that point. You guys just heard me say one thing, and then it was immediately that card combination. So, I want to go in for Goblins here, but there's a chance he goes in for Barbarian Barrel. I can't go for an Elixir Collector just yet, because if we don't have Elixir to go and stop him, then we're screwed. So, can't really dedicate 6 Elixir like that. Anyway. We're going to be going for our skeleton dragons, and then we can rage because he's down so much right now. It's going to be fun. Oh, I missed the rage on the tower. I don't know what I'm doing. Does it even matter? I don't think so. Skeleton dragons lock on the tower. They're like, Jake, you're missing out on some damage, so we'll check in for you for a little bit. We'll check up on the tower, and we'll give you what you needed. So I'm looking at the game real quick. Playing against 3 Musketeers Battle Ram, a lot of times these type of decks are just going to cycle miners on top of our elixir collector, and they'll have zap. So what we need to do is we need to guarantee that we can defend our elixir collectors. We're going to drop it in the middle so we can decipher the pathway of his miner. And we're going to prioritize keeping our goblins in our hand so they can catch the miner as our first order of business. I hope he doesn't go in for a aggressive stance with a battle ram and then forces out all my elixir. Then I have nothing, and then I have to go for my goblins on that. Okay, fortunately, he drops it in the back, so that's really good. The only downside of dropping recruits right now is the fact that he could go for 3 Musketeers, and then I might be in a problem. Oh, I don't think we're in a pickle yet. I don't think we're having anything like that. We're playing pickleball, actually. We're standing tall. We're going to go for a goblin giant. We're going to go and rage it up. Actually, I can go skeleton dragons. He doesn't have any source of splash damage that's scary. No! He played that so intelligently. Why are you a smart sir? I hate that. I hate that about you, man. I'm going to go ahead and rage this up, try to get some extra value. We can mini P.E.K.K.A directly on the Musketeers because it does one-tap them. And then that's cool. And then we can go recruits on top of the battle ram. Evolve skeletons. Oh, that would be very spooky. I'm going to arrow stat. Okay. How do we win, though? Because he's constantly bombarding us with 3 Musketeers. So I don't necessarily have an amazing opportunity to go for an elixir collector to get an elixir advantage. Or really cycle the way that we want. So I'm going to go Goblin Giant here. I'm going to go for Skeleton Dragons. And I think that I need to go in for a mini P.E.K.K.A as well. No, actually, screw that. I'm going Goblins. I'm going Recruits at the river. One of the Musketeers will lock on, but the other one won't. And the Barbarians don't take my tower, and he doesn't have a direct spell. So if I just rage this up and the Goblin Giant locks on a tower, he might just lose. That's what we're going to do. Spam and pray is the only way. But I think that the spam that time was slightly calculated because I knew he didn't have a direct spell, so I wasn't in a danger zone. Oh man, this guy is not having a good time. I think his mental is in danger after that one. Whenever you're playing a toxic deck and you see your opponent Joker laugh at the end of the game, you gotta feel a little bit bad. After mashing 3 Musketeers, we're at 7,500 in the world. Yo, that mini P.E.K.K.A banner is definitely one of the best ones in the business. Out of all the banners, that's in my top 3. So we're gonna go for recruits here onto his drill. Not ideal, but I don't think that any of the goblins spawn on our tower. They're locking onto the recruit shields. So if we're playing against drill plus goblins, he's probably gonna have executioner and golden knight, or maybe just one of them. Lots of splash damage is going to ensue against our recruits. That's why we got the Goblin Giant. Wait, the guy just went for a log? This is good. We can make things happen. We can go in for a Goblin Giant and the regular goblins. The little goblins want to join the backpack of the Shrek. At least that's what I would want to do if I was a regular goblin. I would be like, hey, the spear goblins aren't getting hit by the bomb tower. They're staying alive. Why am I subjected to this torture of getting pounded by all the bombers? I don't know. At least getting hit by splash damage is never fun if you're a goblin on the ground. So the dude's probably going to fireball this. I should have dropped it behind because we saw that he didn't have goblin drill in cycle. Now maybe he's got rocket. Maybe I was so big brain. I did the wrong placement and I got rewarded because I think he has rocket. Wow, I got so lucky. That's awesome. But yeah. Oh, wait, why do you have Electro Dragon? Maybe he doesn't have a spell. Maybe he doesn't have a big spell because he's running Electro Dragon with this. Sometimes that will happen. All right, we could arrows if we wanted to. We do want to cycle a little bit. So I'm going to go for goblins on the left-hand side. Oh, I gave him a free log. I'm stupid. Okay. That wasn't good. All right. He's going to go in for a skill drill. We can go for a mini P.E.K.K.A here. You can also activate King Tower against the Electro Dragon. Let's make that happen. That's always nice to do. It's generally worth it if you're playing against Goblin Drill because then you don't have to spend as much elixir against their spam. But I also don't really understand what this deck is. Electro Dragon, Bomb Tower. So whack.
His jewelry, whack. His foot stance, whack.
Oh, wow. He is really committed to the cause of defending with that Evolved Knight. After sacrificing a lot of damage on the Bomb Tower, he decided not to deal with that. I bet you he rockets. He seems like the type of player to be running a lot of spells in his deck. I'm going to go recruits. We are going to be able to finish off the Knight Evolution, and then we can go for Skeleton Dragons off to the right-hand side. Generally, when you're playing against these defensive decks, you want to go opposite lane of them, because if you go same side, they defend with their Executioners or their Electro Dragons or whatever card they have, and then you look at it and you're like, well, this sucks, because guess what? Then I have to deal with the counter-pushing stuff on the side that he wants to get his damage. Okay, wait. Let's just do one of these. Let's go mini P.E.K.K.A with Goblin Giant, and then we can go for our Goblins to go counter the Executioner. Yeah, that's cool. We're cutting up the Xe. Let's go. All right, we're going to elixir collector in the middle again, so that he can't go in for his goblin drill on the elixir collector immediately. And then we can go for recruits at the river. Or not really postured at the river, but like midway through. The non-committal strategy. Also, this is the most defensive deck that I've played against in like a month. What is this guy doing? I still don't understand. Like, there is no spell coming out of him. He is just playing dedicated defense like an Expo player. I think he played Expo and then he converted religions to Goblin Drill. All right, I'm going to go in for goblins here, and then I'm going to go for skeleton dragons, and then try to go for recruits at the river and just unleash the beast that we have. There's so much elixir that I have. Wait, I can get 2 Shreks on the field. Oh my gosh. This is going to be traumatic for my homie. What is he going to do? Double Shrek equals double the dominance equals double the wins, right? We've got the Spear Goblin still alive from the first Shrek. And we are slamming the door in his face, shutting him down, and breaking through a deck that felt unbreakable. Usually, playing against matchups where your opponent fully concentrates on defense the entire time is absolutely agonizing. Because you're struggling to get damage, the game isn't fun, but when you're playing this deck, it doesn't even matter. You spam with an elixir advantage, and there's nothing they can do to stop you. After blasting through Bomb Tower Executioner, we're at 6,800 in the world. We're on a mission to win every game we play today. Zibby's giving us a heart, and we're gonna give him a heart back. But in reality, I'm gonna be heartless with our matchup. Literally spamming every second. So, you know, we're setting him up for this game of love, and it is not going to be the same, man. Oh, I feel so devious. Oh, he's doing the same thing. He's running Giant Graveyard. Well, I guess in reality, are there many skillful decks in Clash Royale's meta right now? I don't think so. Most of the decks are just like recruit spam with Goblin Giant or Giant Graveyard or Sparky, or, you know, where are the cycle decks? Where are the Hog Rider decks without Firecracker Evolution, you know? There aren't that many in the meta anymore. So, you know, I should have expected that. We'll go for a Goblin Giant in the back left. And then, I think I just go in for Skeleton Dragons or Goblins. It's probably better to go for Skeleton Dragons because a lot of these times, these decks that their opponents are running, when they're running Giant Graveyard, they can't kill the Skeleton Dragons because you can't go Arrow Zap to finish off the Skeleton Dragons anymore. Or Arrow Snowball, it doesn't kill Skeleton Dragons. So the fact that they stay alive means that, you know, the Bowler, the Barbarians, all the ground cards, they're kind of in trouble for our opponent. Oh, he could go Graveyard here on top of Elixir Collector. It should have been postured in this placement where I was hovering my Goblins. That's where we should have dropped it. It's fine, though. We can go for our recruits. And then as long as the Bowler doesn't lock onto our tower, we're still in a pretty good spot, all things considered. So I do have to cycle one more card. I don't want to go in for arrows on top of minions on our side of the map. It just feels really foolish. Oh my gosh. Wait, is he going to sacrifice a giant? There's no way. Dude, this would be so bad for him. If I can get a Goblin Giant down to go and protect our mini P.E.K.K.A. and then we Rage on top of whatever bait card he drops or arrows. I think arrows is a little bit more reliable. Maybe Rage is okay. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to Rage and see if the mini P.E.K.K.A. locks onto the Bowler. If it does, that would be cool. One more hit. One more hit. Please. I should have arrowed. Oh, he predicted the arrows and went for a snowball. He did not want to risk it. That makes sense. Because if the mini P.E.K.K.A. locked on the tower, that would have been a lot more damage for you to deal with. But because I conserved Elixir and I played stupidly, it looks like I'm more smart, but in reality, I'm not. He expected me to be a slightly smarter sir, but I'm not. So sometimes being dumb gets your opponent to waste Elixir. That's the moral of the story. Even if you're bad with this deck, your opponent might be unexpecting you to be that bad. All right, so I'm going to go in for a Rage, then we are able to one-shot all the Barbarians with the mini P.E.K.K.A. Evil Barbarians do take 2 shots if you don't Rage it or do some slight amount of damage. I would love to see him Graveyard, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to Graveyard on the other side. So let's go for recruits. Go for our Goblins here. Since he had all of his damage on the left-hand side, it just didn't make sense for him to go in with the Musketeer. I am going to arrows on the minions this time, and then I'm going to go Rage on top of our tower so we can finish off the Skeletons a little bit faster. Oh my gosh. Yo, that was scary. Chill. Calm down for a sec. I have a huge Elixir advantage. Let me spend it. So I'm going to go in full send with my Goblins, my Goblin Giant, my Shrek, my everything. My whole Elixir horde. I think that this could work out. There's also a chance it doesn't, but I also want to go for recruits to keep up the constant pressure so he can't go Giant Graveyard. And then I want to go in for a mini P.E.K.K.A. because I want to keep up the pressure. Spells don't necessarily do that. Mini P.E.K.K.A. will. We can go for a Goblin Giant. We can go for a Rage again. Unfortunately, the recruits were not necessarily applying the pressure that we needed because they weren't charging. They weren't the evolution this time. You can go for a Rage with the Goblin Giant locked on. I think I just win. Pretty sure the Goblin just does enough damage. Yeah. Pretty broken card. As you guys can see, his tower was at relatively healthy place at around 2,000. and it got taken down in a matter of seconds. When a raged up Shrek locks onto tower, he shreds it every time. And that's one of the reasons that this deck deserves a massive nerf. Winning like that simply should not be possible. After pulverizing another opponent and continuing our win streak, we're up to 6,000 in the world. Yo, this guy finished 79 in the world, and he's got the monk banner. So we're ready to go and shove you out of this game, bro. I love doing the monk symbol or like the monk pose. Oh man, you guys are gonna flame me for that, but it doesn't matter. I try to have fun whenever I play Clash Royale, and I'm just like a living, breathing meme, just like this deck. You know, it shouldn't be this meme that you just goblin giant, you attack, and you win. But it's okay. It makes me happy. It gives me that natural high in life where we get higher and higher and inflate our rank way further than it should be. Not really, but you know, you can get further than you should be in Clash Royale by using this deck, and a lot of people do. So I'm going to go in for a Goblin Giant, and we're going to use the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And I think we can get back to Goblins on top of the Sparky on the other side. Okay, this guy's really smart. That's a great play to use the Giant to go and pull. Not too many people do that. This guy's a smart sir. Okay, so do I want to go for Goblins? Or, yeah, I guess I'm going to eat the Sparky shot, and then I'm going to go Goblins on the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And then I think the Sparky retargets onto the Goblins afterward. So the way that I did that is because the Sparky gets knocked back slightly. Oh, that sucked. I thought the Sparky was going to die. So the Sparky gets knocked back slightly after it shoots. So there's just like a little bit of a knockback, like recoil. So I was like, oh, retarget on the Goblins and we're fine. But man, we're playing against a rank 79 player and we're getting stomped right now at the start. So we have a long road ahead of us to make a comeback. Please, I don't want to lose a game today. We won like 5 games in a row already. I want to win more. I'm going to recruits in the back and see if this slimy strategy can somehow sneak us way back into the game. It shouldn't be possible, but you already know it might be. It very well could be. All right, we're going to go in for our Goblin Giant right now, and we're going to go for our Mini P.E.K.K.A., and we'll see what happens. Actually, screw it. I'm going to go Skeleton Dragons because they're less likely to get pulled if they're off to the side. I think that's infinitely better. We rage it up on his Mini P.E.K.K.A. probably. Oh, is he just going to lose his tower? There's no way. Oh, man. Do I get to 3-crown him? I'm just thinking more and more. Do I get more? I'm so greedy. I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe I can come back. And now I'm thinking, can I 3-crown? Guys, let's be real. This is so stupid. Shrek is unstoppable. He's still on the 3-crown. This guy is infinitely better than me at the game. He's 79 in the world. And he's just laughing because he knows he's losing. Oh, that's just, you know, beautiful. I think Clash Royale should never nerf Goblin Giant. It's fair and balanced so I can keep winning, especially on matches that I don't even deserve. I'm sorry, Salvador. There was no salvation for you. You could never save your towers there. But maybe he'll get revived into a new clan as a leader of Ghost 3.0. After that easy game against a top ladder player and not losing a single match today, we've pushed up to 5,200 in the world. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an incredible rest of your day.